Hi everyone, I'm Candice with Eclectic Coach, and in this video I want to talk about how to develop an inner sense of peace and calm. And I'm going to give you a couple different strategies, both long-term and short-term, to help you. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be updated when I make more content. And I do individual coaching for personality, MBTI 16 personality, archetypology coaching. So check that out if that's something that you're interested in, but please know I will never solicit you for services. So let's get into it. How to develop an inner sense of peace and calm. This is something that I think that we need to extend some grace to ourselves around, because sometimes we just are naturally kind of anxious people. That's just part of our makeup and how we operate in the world. I know that I have a lot of astrological placements that would indicate a lot of nervous energy and a lot of sometimes frenetic energy or a restlessness. And so that could be just a part of your makeup, and you know what's true for you. Some people are just naturally more energetic and vibrant, and that's perfect. But if you're noticing that you're having more anxiety over different things that are going on in your life, maybe this can help you. So number one, if you are going through something difficult in your life right now, what you want to do is you want to work with this feeling of anxiety. You don't want to numb it. You don't want to constantly take, now I'm not a doctor and I'm not trying to tell you what to do with medication, but you don't want to get in a habit of finding some way to constantly numb this feeling. So if you wake up, for example, with a lot of heart palpitations, maybe you're between jobs or something, or you've got something going on with your kids in school or something going on at work, and it's just giving you a lot of anxiety, and you're waking up and your heart's pounding and your mind starts racing, you can almost feel that shot of cortisol first thing in the morning. So if that happens, get up and move. Even if you have a meditation practice and you like to receive guidance from the divine early in the morning, which is a great time because that's when we're most receptive to this sort of subtle information. But either way, even if you are geared to just kind of lay there and try to receive information from God or your angels, get up anyway. Don't just sit there and lay in, and stew in this cortisol feeling. You want to get up, move your body, start taking really deep breaths, and start moving intentionally around your house. Even if you're like just picking up things in your room, and then once things are settled and clear and organized, then sit down and listen and meditate. But when you're feeling that surge of energy, you want to move it and release it through your body. So that's one thing. I'm a big fan of daily meditation. I personally do transcendental meditation. If you're looking for a meditation that's easy because maybe you have ADD like I do and you have a hard time focusing, or it's just difficult for you for whatever reason, I recommend transcendental meditation. It's the most widely used self-development tool in the world. There's the most peer-reviewed research on it, and I like it because you're given a sound, and this mantra that you repeat internally just naturally brings your body to this deep state of rest. And in this deep state of rest is where your body begins to repair itself. Your mind begins to heal. You feel better. I don't know what I would do without this. Like, this has been the most important thing I've ever learned in my entire life. It makes food taste better. It makes colors brighter. It makes things that you would normally be worried about, just, you'll kind of think to yourself like, I know I should be worried, but it gives you this deep inner sense of peace and calm. And another thing I notice is that it almost feels like something is sitting next to me. observing my life, and no matter how stressful or chaotic it may appear on the external plane, just I feel like this deep sense of peace, and that no, everything's going to be okay, and that's what life does. It goes up and down, and there's all these things happening, and we're all here. I believe that this is like a school where first and foremost we're here to have fun and enjoy ourselves, and then it's to learn, and then I think it's to expand the universe. But maybe we could go into that on another show. But the way that it was described to me is, imagine that you were young and somebody came to you, and you felt like they told you that your mom isn't home anymore. She just like left. It would make it hard for you to like leave the house and go do different things and go out into the world and go explore, now knowing that your mom is suddenly not home and not going to be there when you get back and not going to be there to take care of you. And it's almost like this palpable feeling of mom's home. Everything's okay. Like for some reason, it just settles something inside of you, and it makes you realize that no matter what's happening, it's going to all work out. And it's not just an idea or something that you tell yourself, it's something that you experience moment to moment. And so I highly recommend transcendental meditation. Another thing that you can do if you haven't learned to meditate yet is be aware of the images that are looping in your mind, like these flash scenes of, I had a ticket recently and I was just like, I'm going to go to jail if I don't, like everything got taken care of. But like just in my mind, I could go to these places where I'm like, how am I going to take care of this? How am I going to do all this? And of course it just works out the way that it does. But I was having these flash images of uncomfortable things, and as a result of not paying this ticket on time. And if you start to change the images that are going on in your mind, either do a guided meditation where you can ask for spiritual support if you believe in that, and you can call in your animal helpers or your spirit guides or your ancestors or the angels or whatever works for you, and listen for guidance, and using your imagination to kind of get there is really helpful. But also so is thinking of the alternative for what you would like to happen in the most ideal scenario. And so what you can do is you can write down an experience where you felt a lot of relief and where the problem was solved, and write down what it looked like, what it felt like, just to kind of get into that emotion. And then write down and just a few lines. So not making this like a big to-do, but writing down what it would look like, feel like, smell like, sound like in the ideal scenario. If this was working out the way you wanted it to, if the problem was solved. And the reason I say to use a past memory of when things have worked out is that sometimes you can go there and you can kind of pull the feeling from that experience into the one you're trying to create. And you can even, you can listen to some pre-recorded ones. There's a lot of stuff online on YouTube that's free. But you can also just sit down with a recording app on your phone and just imagine what it would be like if this were to happen in the ideal way that you want. And it's helpful for getting these kind of unwanted images or intrusive thoughts to go away, is to replace them with something else, and to get really, really intentional about it. So every time a worrisome thought comes to you, maybe you imagine handing it to God or handing it over to your angels, or every time that worrisome thought comes to you, you just reorient your mind to focus on the images that you would like to draw into your experience. So that's one way, or a couple ways, that you can use guided imagery. Also, some of us do this more than others. like an ISFJ, for example, tends to worry quite a bit. But we all kind of, regardless of our personality type, worry about different things. And it's important to ask yourself, can you control this? If it's, for example, other people's opinions of you and you're just stuck in like this thought loop of what your boss or your coworkers think, first ask, do I have any control over this? And yes or no, you can kind of have some influence and you can kind of change your behavior if that needs to be addressed. But what other people think of you, you don't have control over. What's going to happen with AI and whether or not it's going to kill us and it's the largest existential threat that we have, or, you know, I can get into some like serious thought loops. And it's like, I have no control over this. I can't be filling my mind with anything that I don't have control over. So if you're getting a little too into politics, but you don't have direct influence over any of the decisions that are being made, then maybe step away from it for a little while. Recognize basically, is this something I can control? Like, and if so, to what degree can I take actions and steps to guide it forward from where I am now? Because it's like, you start thinking sometimes about certain topics and it's like, yeah, I can influence that, but it's like, can I influence it right now? Like, what can I do right now? And I think it's good to get into something that you can control. So if things are getting really crazy, but it makes you feel good to drive, you know, my family member was going through a divorce and we had to drive up north to go to, I think, this funeral. And I was like, do you want me to drive? And she was like, no, I need to drive. It makes me feel in control. So if cleaning your house makes you feel in control, if putting on, you know, a pound of makeup makes you feel in control, if cooking your own food and knowing what's in it makes you feel in control, do it. If finally just facing the problem and dealing with your paperwork needs to happen, do it. Do something that makes you feel in control as you let go of whatever is making you, that you don't have control over and that you're just looping around. Engage in activities that soothe you, but the focus is to soothe instead of numb, because like Brene Brown says, you can't selectively numb. So instead of reaching for, you know, junk food or alcohol or weed or some television show to just get completely lost in, think about working with these emotions of anxiety or sadness and really feeling them and doing something with them, either working them out of your body because you're going on a run and you're exercising all that excess energy out of your body, or maybe you're doing some yoga nidra yoga and you're trying to get yourself into a soothing, peaceful state, or you're taking a bath and you're soaking in Epsom salt. Do it ritualistically and do it consciously and do it actively to move yourself into a lighter state of mind. So what you're going for is a visceral, palpable feeling of a shift of those feelings being released. And then another thing is call back your energy. So sometimes we are energetic beings all the time, and we are radiating and receiving and interpreting energy all the time. And sometimes we, without knowing it, give our power away in certain circumstances. I'm sure you've had an exchange with somebody. It wasn't a big deal. You were just talking. Some comments were made. They weren't really a big thing, but for some reason you just felt like kind of deflated after the conversation. It could have been brief or long, but you may have inadvertently left some of your energy back with that person. Or maybe somebody said something to you at work or school or something, and that energy left you and went and was given to that other person. You know, they just kind of said something that was underhanded, and it's kind of like in your mind now, but yet you feel less energetic, less full. And I don't mean full of yourself in an egotistical way, but I mean full of your own energy. Some of the things that we do is we end up in life giving our energy away, giving our power away. Maybe they said something and you're like, maybe that is true. But it's unproductive, and it's not making you necessarily make positive changes and really looking at yourself. It's just kind of like in the back of your mind bothering you. You could have, accidentally given your energy. This is what a lot of people do. I see this a lot at work. With the different exchanges that people have, even like customers and customer service and things like that, is you have these exchanges with people, and sometimes one person walks away just like a little bit lighter, like they got the best of that exchange, mostly because they were able to extract the energy from another person in some way or another by making a rude comment or criticizing or needing to be right or needing to one up the other person, something like that. You may have given away your energy or just kind of left it with somebody. So you can just place your hands over your heart. I don't want to get my microphone all messed up, but place your hands over your heart and breathe in and call back all of your energy that you may have left somewhere in an uncomfortable conversation or exchange with somebody. And imagine it coming back surrounded by white sparkly light, and pull it back into your heart center. And also remember to give back any of the energy that you may have accidentally taken without realizing it from somebody else. Maybe you got a little, moody, or you got rude and you said something in a sort of way, and you weren't consciously trying to take energy from somebody, but you kind of walked away with a little extra. Be sure in the meditation to send back whatever energy isn't yours. And if you're holding on to energy that's not yours, ask your angels or your guides or whatever you believe in to help you return the energy to whoever you may have accidentally taken it from. Could be like pens at the bank, you don't mean to steal the pen, but you kind of just walked out with it. So give it back. And this can help you feel a deeper sense of inner peace and calm, because you do start to see, oh wait, I am energy. That is at the basis of all of this. And when you get your energy back, you do feel better about yourself. You do feel more empowered. You do feel less influenced by the thoughts and opinions of other people. You feel more grounded. You feel more whole. And there's something that also feels really good and clean about giving back the energy that you may have taken. And that's going to help you feel this deep inner state of peace and calm, because it's not contingent upon anything that's going on around you. You start to see, wait, I can adjust my own energy levels. If I'm running low on energy, I can consciously go do something to fill my own cup back up. So understanding if you're an extrovert or an introvert is a great way of understanding your inner sense of peace and calm. Now, people can say, oh, I'm both, and I guess there are ambiverts, but mostly we derive our energy from being around other people or from spending time alone. And neither way is better or worse than the other. They all have their advantages. But just be aware, if you are an introvert, you might need to take a step back. A lot of what you're feeling could just be intuitive downloads that you've received just from being around people, processing all of their feelings and all the things that are and aren't being said. I know INFJs, for example, we need a lot of time alone because we just pick up so much stuff. And so knowing whether or not you're introverted or extroverted can help you too, because let's say you're an extrovert, let's say you're an ENFP, you might feel kind of lonely and down, and not a sense of peace and calm, but rather anxiety and a feeling of disconnection if you spend too much time alone. ENFPs, for example, tend to be the most extroverted or introverted extroverts that are out there. But they need time with other people that makes them feel connected, that makes them feel calm because they know what's going on. They're able to get new ideas and fresh perspectives and keep the energy moving as an extrovert. So understanding what your introverted or extroverted needs are can help you develop that sense of inner peace and calm, because it's about feeling good, it's about feeling connected, and being aware of how you get your energy. And going outside and getting out in nature is a great way to recalibrate yourself. So take off your shoes, rebalance the electromagnetic system in your brain and your body through grounding is great. Another thing that you can do is just stand in the wind and feel like sort of like a wind bath happening, and ask the wind spirits to wash away all of your anxiety, all of your fear, and you'll walk away from that experience feeling much more refreshed. And if you sit outside and you observe nature and you connect with nature and you send appreciation to the plants and let them send it back to you, then very often you'll have different animal experiences where an animal will suddenly cross your path, and you can Google what it means. Like I had a stork or a herring fly over my car like a week or two ago. And it made me feel like I'm not doing this alone. And that's a good reminder too. You're not doing this alone. You are surrounded by beings of light who love you unconditionally. You're not doing this by yourself. So remember to call on support, because your ancestors, your spirit guides, your animal helpers, all these things, they need your free will because this is your life. So you need to invite them in. And another thing is calling in the archangels is very powerful. I like to chant their names 3 times, and I feel like this strength and this presence that's around me, and I get guidance and I feel calmed and I feel connected, because sometimes there's a lot that we don't see. There's a lot of energies going in and out of our spaces that we don't even pick up on, and we're trying so much to focus on this concrete, 3D reality and move all the pieces around. But remember, it's your internal state that is going to be reflected in your external environment. And then the last thing is to focus on gratitude and positive thinking. So I'm not talking about toxic positivity. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's okay. But it is helpful to list some things like, I'm grateful that my car's working. I'm grateful that I have time to make this video right now. I'm grateful that I was able to handle my ticket and my car problems. And thinking about the things that you're grateful for is a good way to shift the energy. But also, if you're really worried and you're really scared about something, list all the times when you were at a close call, and if it didn't resolve itself, you were in big trouble. And make an actual list and remind yourself that if God's gotten you through all of this so far, then you're always going to be guided. You're always going to be taken care of. God's not just going to I don't know if God wakes up, but God's not human. So it's not just going to wake up and be like, well, nah, I don't think I'm going to help them today. I don't really like how they were yesterday, and they kind of seemed ornery and rude. I'm just going to drop them. That's not going to ever happen. You're okay. Everything's going to be okay. And yeah, you might not have the solution in your conscious mind right now, but do whatever you got to do to just start feeling a little bit better. Turn on your favorite music, turn on empowering music, and start moving your body in an empowered way. Power pose, put your hands on your hips like you're Superman, and mentally go through, this time it worked out for me. Remember this time when this happened and I didn't know what I was going to do, and then this person called. Remember, as time goes by, like, solutions are going to come that maybe aren't available to you right this second, but in 5 minutes. So don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle is about to happen. If you've received guidance to stay on a particular course of action, keep moving, keep doing that. But just remind yourself of all the times it's been okay, because it's always going to be okay. And you're not alone, and you're loved by all that is true and good and beautiful. So I hope that some of these things have, I'm getting to tell you to drink water, drink a lot of water, drink water with lemon in it, and practice the present moment technique I talked about, I think in my other video, where you focus on just being fully present as you drink the water. And you don't have to worry about anything else. Just, that's something that you can do. Hydrating yourself and hydrating your brain will help you focus and will bring you clarity. If you can, get out into a body of water and go swimming or put your feet in a river or a lake. That would be ideal. But at the very least, drink a lot of water and be fully present as you do it, and imagine the healing element of water moving through your entire system and washing away your fears and your concerns. Anyway, I hope that these are some helpful ideas and techniques about how you can develop an inner sense of peace and calm. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in personality coaching, I'd love to work with you and help you design your 2025, even though this is a timeless video. But if you want to reach your goals in 2025, you want to stop making excuses, and you want to do it in a way that really feels good and natural to you based on your personality type and how you process information, I'd love to work with you. And there's a description in the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.